Sri Prema Samputa by Srila Visvanatha Chakravarti Thakur, composed in 1684 in Sanskrit. A discourse on the topmost form of selfless love, the purest revelation, is spoke by Sri Radhika, the goddess of creation. Krishna arrives in the disguise of a demigoddess. One day, early in the morning, Sri Krishna put on the enchanting disguise of a demigoddess and went into the courtyard of his most dearly beloved Sri Radhika. Covering up his lotus face with the border of the pinkish dress and lowering his eyes, he abruptly sat down. The daughter of Rishabhanu saw this from a distance, and she exclaimed to her girlfriends, "How wonderful! How wonderful! Shakilalita, that lotus-faced girl, wearing a most astonishing dress and ornament, is illuminating my whole house like sapphire by her bodily effulgency. Who is she? Please go and see." Hearing this word, Lalita and Vishaka immediately went over to the mysterious girl and addressed her. "Oh, slim-waisted one, who are you? From where have you come? What is your purpose in coming here? Please tell us your story." But the newly arrived girl said nothing in reply. Seeing this, Sri Radhika's mind was filled with curiosity. Coming over to this disguised Krishna in a very prankish mood, she asked, "Oh, lovely girl, who are you? Your graceful form has stolen my mind. Are you a demigoddess?" "Oh, mine, your beauty shines brightly as the personification of splendor." Still, the guest gave no answer. Then Radhika again asked her, "Oh, melancholic girl, you have certainly come here for some reason, so kindly inform us of this and relieve our curiosity. Consider yourself to be our intimate friend. What are you afraid of, O girl with the lowered face? Why are you so shy around us?" Hearing this, the girl breathed a heavy sigh, seeming to be extremely troubled. She turned her face even further away, but remained just as silent. Concerned for her condition, Radha continued to question her. "Alas, I can understand that your heart is in trouble. Otherwise, you should not have come here behaving like this. Oh, lotus-faced one, please tell me about your anguish, whatever it may be. Have faith in me. I will try to ease your pain. When one is hurt deep inside, it is unbearable. But relief comes with the revealing the trouble before another person of understanding heart. Are you feeling separation from your beloved? Have you become sad from discovering his shortcoming? Or have you committed some intolerable offense unto him that has filled you with fear? Alas, or has some wicked person told your beloved the untruth about you? Or have you become scornful that your husband is dull and boring, while you remain attached to another wonderful man who is unattainable? And for that reason you are continually chastised by sharp-tongued superiors. Alas, just like as I am. Are any of these reasons cause for your sadness? O slim-waisted one, has your co-wife intelligence become blinded by the intoxicating wine of her own small fortune, causing her to pierce your heart with the arrows of her sharp words? No, this is not possible, for I have never seen another girl who is the repository of such matchless fortune as you are. O moon-faced one, I have heard from Purnamasi the ancient story of Sri Vishnu's incarnation of Mohini, the beautiful woman who forcibly bewildered Lord Shiva. Are you that same Mohini? On that occasion, Shiva was enchanted, and you were not. But presently, if Srihari pierces you by casting the arrows of his sidelong glance in your direction, then you will certainly become bewitched, and thus the two of you will enchant each other. This will be a most wonderful prank. Hearing this word of Sri Radha, Sri Krishna and his demigoddess disguise became extremely thrilled. The hairs on his body stood up, and his skin erupted with bumps and shivers. To hide this, he quickly covered all his limbs with his upper cloth. Seeing this, Sri Radha said, "Alas, my dear girlfriend, are you afflicted with some sickness in your body? Is there pain in your breast, back, or head? Dear Vishaka, quickly go into the house and get the oil that was lovingly sent me by my father, which vanquishes all ailments. Applying it to this girl's body, it will prove the oil successful. That the oil is the personification of love my father has for me. I will personally massage it with great care and attention to this girl's body, thereby removing all her pain. Dear girlfriend Vishaka, then I will expertly rub it very gently on her head. Also bring some warm water scented with the very best ingredients, for that is an excellent treatment for sickness. I will personally bathe her thoroughly and thereby soothe her. Thus I will make her lotus face blossom and will enable her to talk with us. My dear girlfriends, as I speak sweet words to this poor girl and perform other health-giving activities to her, doing all this with affection, selflessness, and supreme respect, I can understand that if she still remains silent and just sits there keeping this miserable look on her face, then she is simply pretending. Alas, she may have no sickness at all. If I apply this treatment to anyone else, their life, mind, and all bodily illness would be cured by this divine nectar-like medicine obtained from the Vantari. Therefore, this girl should certainly be getting better. If I were to invite the Lord of the Bowers, Sri Krishna, to vigorously massage her breast with the palm of his lotus hand, then she, who is supposedly unable to speak due to some intolerable sickness, will be found to suddenly begin speaking, laughing, and even citing profusely in amorous delight. Need I say more? When she does become increasingly effulgent, then we will all laugh heartily. Hearing all this word of Sri Radhika, the beautiful girl's concealed lotus face became helplessly illuminated by a sweet smile. With her fingers, her most charming left hand, she brushed away her hair and slightly pulled back her veil, lifting her lower face a little. Sri Krishna, disguised as the demigoddess, then made his voice full of enchanted sweetness like a woman's, and finally said a few words. Each of those nectar's words were eagerly drunk by Radha girlfriends, just like chakori birds drinking moonbeams. The girl said, "I am a Devi, and my residence is in the heavenly planets. O lovely faced one, please listen to the reason I have come to you so perplexed. I want to have something explained to me, and other than you, there is no one who can answer my questions." Radha said, "You say you are a goddess, and this is not false. You certainly are a goddess, because among ordinary human beings who looks as radiant as you do, there is no comparison to your enchanting aura. You can only be compared to yourself. Oh, whose face is like a lotus in autumn. I jokingly asked if you were feeling separation from your husband, and many other speculations, but all those were only due to my own simple-mindedness. Please don't take offense at any of this, I beg of you. If you have affection for me, then I will become yours. The goddess disguised Krishna then replied, Why are you so humbly trying to become my girlfriend? Although I am a goddess, I have already become yours. Please be certain of this. Perceiving even one drop of the ocean of your love, beauty, and qualities, I have had the unrelenting desire to become your maid-servant. Now, please listen with full attention to the story I will tell. I'm feeling insurmountable distress and ask you to kindly dispel my doubts. Even though I have been drinking nectar words, so far this pain in my heart has not been relieved even a little bit. O Saki, there is some high-pitched music that echoes regularly here in Vrindavana, apparently coming from a small Venu flute, but its uncommon power. This vibration ascends into the sky and penetrates our heavenly abode, creating such a situation that the chaste wives of the demigods become disgusted even upon the remembrance of embracing their own husbands neck to neck. And what more, and all the time this sound is slow-pitched, apparently being produced by a long merly flute. This vibration, which is just like a poison mixed with nectar, is eagerly drunk by all the heavenly goddesses. But upon entering their ears, they become so ignited with a greatly mysterious fire that their entire bodies heat up just like burning embers. They thus swoon even while in their husband's arms. The poor husband feels this great burning sensation and immediately push their wives away, wondering, Alas, what is this? Dear girlfriend, please hear more. In our heavenly abode, there is no old age. Everyone is youthful. No one criticizes another. Everyone shares the same standard of virtue. No one ever ridicules anyone else. But this deep sound of the merely flute completely overwhelms the chastity of all the faithful demigoddess and rules us victoriously. In this way, the music of the flute has been afflicting all the celestial goddesses with so many disturbances, each and every day, until finally I began to pound in my heart. Alas, what is making this sound? From where it's coming? And who is playing it? Afterward, I followed the flute sound from the heavenly planets down to this planet Earth, and I happily stayed for a few days among the branches of the large banyan tree known as Vansivata. There I watched many varieties of Sri Hari's unparalleled pastime being performed nearby with his most confidential lovers and other dearmost girlfriends. Thus I learned many things. Hearing all this, Radha smilingly spoke some very sweet words. O most fortunate one, in the entire abode of the celestials, I consider you alone to be the most clever, because only you have thought to come here and search out the source of your disturbance. There is no other goddess as expert as you. For the sense of all, the rest are cut asunder by the sharp sword of anxiety. They have thereby become helpless, but still they uselessly consider themselves divine clever damsels. After hearing this joking word of Radha's, the girl ever so slightly flickered her eyebrows, bathing her face with the sweet effulgence of her smile, while covering her teeth with her lips, and said, "Oh Radha, certainly you never met anyone else like me before. Oh my, could I really have the ability to come here and watch Sri Krishna's pastimes in Vraja, thereby looking upon a man other than my husband?" Radha replied, "Is there needed to any other man after you secretly came here and have extravagantly experienced the confidential love sport of Lord Hari? Now please tell me, what is the question you want answered? So far all the jokes and all the talks we have had were only because you have accepted me as your girlfriend. That's all." The disguised Krishna said, "Saki, you keep on joking with me again and again. Who could possibly defeat you in the art of joking? Oh Radhi, what could I value more than my friendship with you? You are equal to my very life air. Even though you are a human being, all the goddess in the celestial realm of immortality bow their heads and offer obeisances at the mentions of your qualities just to purify themselves. I can never praise your glories befittingly, so please don't feel embarrassed or be indifferent to me, for I am unable to speak untruth. Even the daughter of the ocean, Lakshmi, and the daughter of the mountains, Parvati, cannot rival you, for they are also desirous of attaining beauty and fortune like yours. And furthermore, I say that even in the Vaikuntha realm, far beyond the three material spheres, there is no woman who is as courageous in love affair as you are. Indeed, no one is able to even imagine a standard of love such as yours. I have heard all these things described in the assembly of Haimavati, the daughter of the Himalayas, Parvati, on Mount Kailash. Hearing those discussions about your divine qualities, I developed a great desire to meet you, and that desire has now been fulfilled. But, alas, alas, still my heart is burning with great distress. My innermost soul is being torn apart, but due to its extreme hardness, I at once split. Hearing this expression of the goddess, unbearable agony, the most loving and concerned Radha spoke. Saki, what is causing your pain? Tell me right now. But even upon Radha's questioning like this, again and again, the girl's throat became choked up, and she was unable to reply. Her lotus face became wet with tears, and Radha gently wiped the girl's eyes and face with the corner of her own cloth. Remaining still for a short while to regain her composure, the girl then spoke to Radha. "O innocent one, how can you have such a matchless, selfless, and strong love for such an extremely lusty boy as Krishna? You must have heard that if one has faith in an unfit person, then that brings only sorrow unto oneself and one's family. This Krishna is obviously full of the divine opulences of beauty, bravery, matchless fortune, and universal fame, but even though decorated by so many Jew-like qualities, he has one fault which diminishes the greatness of all his other good qualities. His weakness is that he has a total inability to discriminate in matters of love, which is characteristic of one who is too lusty. Therefore, it's not befitting for you to be in love with such a person as he. Once I saw Krishna sport many pastimes with you during the day, enthusiastically showing false love towards you again and again. Later, due to your innocent mentality, you agreed to meet with him that night in a secluded place. After meeting and enjoying with you there for some time, the bogus rascal eventually left you and went away in order to make love with some other woman. At that time you began to lament and cry due to feel intense separation from him. Hearing such pitiful crying, your girlfriends and even the creepers and birds of Vrindavana became so saddened that they also cried along with you. Dear girlfriend, I was hiding in the tree known as Vansivata, and saw all this myself, an unforgettable scene which upset my mind very much. On another night, even while sporting and enjoying the rasa dance, he similarly left all the other girls in order to show his supposedly exclusive love for you. Taking you alone into another forest, he stayed with you only for a short while. Seeing that you had become very tired from sharing many amorous loving sport, he suddenly left you all alone right there in the forest. Then you lamented very loudly in the greatest sorrow, repeatedly falling into deep unconsciousness. Pulling yourself from your feet again and again, you're wandering all around the woods gravely disorientated, overwhelmed with continuous disillusions. Alas, that condition I saw you and will remain engraved in my heart for many births, from each birth to death, during the body's transition through 8 conditions. I will never forget the anguish I felt while beholding that miserable suffering of yours. O glorious one, I am a goddess, a resident of the higher planets, and therefore I never have any difficulty in my heart. But, alas, coming here by chance to see you has only caused a spike to penetrate my heart. O Saki, now there is no way to remove that spike. My mind has become so attached to you that I have no desire to return to my heavenly abode, and yet I feel as if I am unable to remain here for even a second longer. My head reels at every step, and I am simply unable to maintain my composure by any means. After suffering like this for many long days, I have finally come before you today and reveal my innermost feelings. Furthermore, I am greatly afraid of this Krishna because he has no sense of morality, proper conduct, or shame. He has obviously never set one foot on the path of mercy. The proof is that in his babyhood he has killed a woman, Putana, in childhood killed a calf, Vatasura, and in adolescence killed a bull, Aristasura. Then Gandharvika Radha replied, O most fortunate one, you have an indescribable potency of attraction, just like Krishna does. Thus, even though you have criticized my dear most beloved, somehow I still have great affection for you deep in my heart. If you would become my confidential girlfriend and not return to the heavenly planet, and if you always live here in Vraja with me, then I will open up my love locket and show you the super excellent jewels of divine ecstatic love that I keep inside. Otherwise, I am unable to help you resolve your confusion. Srimati Radhika continued, O Sundari, if you really consider yourself my Saki, do not return to the heavenly planets. Stay with me in this land of Vraja for all time, and then I will be able to open my treasury chest to show you the amazing jewel of Prema. It is not possible to understand the Prema that Sri Krishna and I have for each other just by talking about it. It is only possible to understand by observing it. If you and I do not live together, how will I ever make you understand this Prema, and how will I be able to remove your doubts? Stay with me, and I will be able to make you understand clearly why I cannot become indifferent towards Sri Krishna, even though I suffer so greatly because of him. When the disguised Sri Krishna heard the word of Sri Radhika, he said, Alas, alas, you still lack faith in me, even though we know each other. Radha, you want me to be your Saki, but that is something for the distant future. At the moment, I am just your maid servant. Please be happy with me and control me in every way. I swear by Sri Vishnu that you are my one and only shelter, whether you punish me or show me mercy. When Vrishabhanu Nandini Sri Radhika heard this, she said, Oh my friend, if you consider to hear about my Prema, then listen. Anyone who says, this is the extent of Prema, this is Prema, this is the nature of Prema, or this is not the nature of Prema, knows nothing about Prema, even if they have studied the Vedas and all other scriptures. Or Saki, suppose someone wants to grasp the nature of Prema and tries to explain it to another, even though he has no realization of it himself. In that case, he who tries to explain it and cheating, and any realization resulting from those words is simply a fraud. Prema is the most excellent of topics, and it cannot be described in words. It disappears upon being analyzed and becomes even more concealed when it is not. When the heart is filled with raga, attachment to Krishna with affection, a mood naturally reigns in which there is no other desire than to give happiness to one's beloved. And when one makes the beloved happy, even though one's tendency of heart is neither to deliberate on how to do so nor to neglect it, happiness naturally arises. At this time, Prema becomes visible in one's innate activities. Just as lion defeat elephants and nourish itself by eating them, similarly, this extremely powerful Prema nourishes itself by conquering the unlimited and difficult miseries caused by conditions in this world, by other planets, by family members, enemies, own body, or by matters related to the body, and even by troubles caused by one's beloved that are as insurmountable as Mount Sumeru. The proud, confident, and graceful lion sleeps fearlessly without disturbance. Similarly, that Prema which brings with affection exhibit pride due to the rise of mana and reach the stage of pranaya can never be destroyed, and that Prema, the pride of possessiveness, he is mine, he is exclusive, my beloved, is firmly situated within the heart of the lover. Just as lion consider a dog to be insignificant, so Prema does not recognize insignificant dog-like obstacles. Just as lamps glows become brighter in the darkness, so the glory of Prema becomes more lustrous in the face of obstacles. With those obstacles conquered, Prema becomes more radiant than before, thus situated and never diminishes. Saki, through lascivious desire, this Prema makes one continually relish the beloved in new and fresh ways. Like the moon, it pleases the three worlds with excessive intoxication, and it also burns like the sun at the time of universal devastation. My dear Saki, in the entire universe, in the upper planetary system such as Mahaloka, and in the lower planetary systems such as Rasatala, is anyone worthy of receiving this prema other than Vrajendra Nandana Sri Krishna? It is only in this land of Vraja that some doe-eyed girls taste this prema, according to their various individual bhava. Sometimes prema manifests externally as kama, or transcendental lust, from which the beloved Sri Krishna obtains unlimited happiness, and sometimes mere lust is portrayed as prema. Only the crown jewel of clever personalities and the abode of all artists, Sri Krishna, is able to understand its true nature. Shri Radhika continued. Saki, when a young woman says, I am burned in the fire of lust, please take me quickly to the Lord of my life. She cannot be called lusty, because at that time the nature of her heart is firmly fixed in giving pleasure to her beloved. The passionate mood that manifests to give happiness to her beloved cannot be called mere lust, kama. Rather, it is true love of prema. Saki, Sri Vrajendanandana is both an ocean of prema and a mine of dew-like qualities. His deceitfulness, flickliness, crookedness, and other such qualities are extremely charming. He devises how to increase woman's love for him by presenting his prema in the semblance of lust before them all. Hundreds and thousands of beautiful girls, intoxicated by youthful lust, able to satisfy by their various kinds of endeavors Sri Krishna's desire for an amorous meeting. Sri Krishna is self-satisfied, Atmaram, and free from material desires, Aptakam. So no one can enchant him by their lust. He is only controlled by pure prema. Therefore, Srimati Radhika says, Saki, stay in Sri Vrindavana. Experience for yourself how the Vraja Ramanis prema for Sri Krishna is free from any desire for personal happiness and how Sri Krishna is controlled only by such prema. Although the prema of all the beautiful young girls of Vraja is unconditional, everyone knows that Sri Krishna is much more attracted to me than to all others. Indeed, this is true, because Sri Krishna feels my prema to be boundless as Mount Sumeru, and the prema of the other girls like a few mustard seeds. My dear friend, proportionate to the degree all the gopis love him, Sri Krishna loves them in return, and sport with them accordingly. There is no offense in this behavior, but if by a twist of fate something prevents the performance of his amorous sporting, which robs him of his happiness, then I become very sad. And at other times, when I go to a secret place to meet with him, he may not arrive due to some obstacle. His heart is resolutely dedicated to me alone, but he falls victim to the entreaties of another girl and makes love with her. In this situation, however, he doesn't feel any happiness at all. Instead, he remains disturbed with anxiety, being burned by the miserable suffering that I feel all night long. That misery he feels over my sufferings while he is sporting with other girls result in still more suffering in my mind, since I respond to his every emotion. At that time I say to myself, I have arranged this nice dress ornament and sporting paraphernalia just for his pleasure, and now they are all useless if he doesn't see them. Thus I break down and cry sorrowfully, Certainly you were watching and saw all this. When he finally arrives before me in the next morning, in a very humble mood, pleading for forgiveness, then I chastise him in great anger, saying, "Just leave from here. Go enjoy with that girl again." This chastisement is also for his pleasure, not for it is done only out of pure loving affection for him. In this way, you can know something about the quality of love that is exhibited here in Vrajabhumi. I repeatedly reveal my own desire when I say to him, "Oh, you rascal, have you left me aside to go make love with another girl?" His body being marked with the scratches of love, also only reveals his own desire. Then he sorrowfully admits his guilt. My dear friend, the lamplight of pure love always remains hidden within the windowless heart room of these two religious, Sri Krishna and I, and there it peacefully shines without moving. But whenever it comes out through the doors of our mouths by words, it immediately becomes dissipated, or at least it diminishes significantly. The charming effulgence of this love lamp situated within the heart comes out of the windows of our eyes, thereby illuminating our lips, cheeks, foreheads, and breast, and in the most wonderful way. Thus, persons such as we, who are knowledgeable in matters of pure love, communicate with each other by the symptoms of our own love auras. But even though my beloved Krishna, who is fond of many girlfriends, reveals his love for me again and again through his mouth, it does not diminish at all. This is because he is so expert in speaking cleverly false words that manifest his pure love, just like lust. In this way, he very quickly covers up his statements of love and though with the curtain. Whenever one of his other girlfriends starts to pound, then Srihari is always ready to say to her, "Oh, my most beloved, I have such unalloyed love for you that even in dreams my heart is unable to be with another girl." And whenever I become upset to see the scratch marks of love caused by another gopi on his body, then he also says so many similar things intent to pacify me. In that situation, he begins to poetically glorify the charms on my face and my eyes and words overflowing with sweetness and beauty, and he thus becomes consumed with a ranged desire to sport with me. In this way he manifests his lust, but he doesn't show his love for me as he does at other times by uttering statements such as "You are my life." And furthermore, when a beloved gopi burns repeatedly in the feverish fires of separation from Sri Krishna, and thereby becomes deeply submerged in the fathomless ocean of unbearable anxiety, then she may recite exclamations such as the Yat Te Sujata Charanambu Rajam verse to express her pure love. Srimad Bhagavatam 10.31 Songs of the Gopis in Separation. O dearly beloved, your lotus feet are so soft that we place them gently in our breasts, fearing that your feet will be hurt. Our life rests only in you. Our minds, therefore, are filled with anxiety that your tender feet might be wounded by pebbles as you roam about on the forest path. Overwhelmed in the extremely parched dryness of this dark and desolate separation from Krishna, the gopi's life air is unable to circulate in her body. In this condition, the oil of intense affection flows freely and fills the super excellent lamplight of pure love, which shines until more brightly. As you say, during the rasa dance, Krishna had given up the company of all the other gopis in order to sport with me alone, and then he eventually renounced me also. Please listen to the truth about why he did this. Brajendanandana is the ocean of love, and yet he neglects all other girls in my favor. But this behavior is not a fault of his. And here is the reason for this. He had seated me on the lion throne of matchless divine jewels of great fortune, and personally decorate me with the ornaments of many sportive amorous pastime shared as we wander from forest to forest making love. He enacted all this without even once remembering any other gopi. But then I began to ponder over the situation. My dear girlfriends have not been enjoying the great festival of this fathomless ocean of static nectar, but instead are burning miserably in feeling of separation. Why must this be, and what can I do about it? I thought, if he and I wait here for a few moments, then my Sakis, who are searching all over the forest, will quickly catch up with us. Concluding thus, I said to Sri Krishna, "Oh beloved, I am unable to go any further. Let us rest here for a little while." But the crushed Jew of clever lover immediately understood everything about the thought in my mind. Therefore, he who is unparalleled in his extremely cunning nature, who is matchless in his ability to relish divine mellows, quickly deliberated within his own mind. Krishna's reasoning for leaving the gopis. If I take Radhika with me to wander in these gardens, then that will not make me happy, because this Radha can feel the mental anguish of her girlfriends in her heart, and thus she also becomes very sad. And if I wait here, then all those girls will catch up with us and look at me with crooked eyebrows, and they will lovingly chastise Radhika for a long time, lecturing her in many different ways. If this happens, then the mood of tasting amorous mellow sport will be completely spoiled, and they will all return to their own homes in a huff. There will be no chance of enjoying the rasa dance today. And if the rasa dance is not performed within all these gopis, then the Prankrish prayer that Radhika previously submitted unto me will not be fulfilled. She had asked, "Beloved, can you simultaneously embrace thousands and millions of young gopis with your own two arms? I am desirous to see such a feat, if you would kindly satisfy my request." So first I will leave Radhika's company for a very short while, thereby providing this poor helpless girl to be faultless, while taking all the blame myself. I will thereby remain obliged to Radha, and at the same time will cause all the gopis to become affectionately concerned for her welfare in every way after they find her crying alone in the forest. By beholding the boundless, incomparably burning fever of Radhika's feeling of separation from me, they will all be drowned in the great ocean of sheer astonishment. This will cause them to give up their own love pride and realize that only Radha is absolutely the foremost lover of all. These proud girls will see that just as Radha is outstandingly best in the mellows of divine union, Similarly, she is also best hundreds of millions of times over in her feelings of separation. The conjugal mellow is supremely nourished by these two modes of union and separation. When the gopis behold Radha's condition of separation from me, they will become embarrassed, considering her to be the topmost of them all. After I left the gopis, they indignantly said among themselves, "Alas, now Hari is simply overwhelmed with lust, for he has left us all to go make love with this Radhika, even though we are more loving than she." Then they will become very upset and had cast much blame toward both of us. But now, when they find Sri Radhika's terribly suffering alone in the forest, and are scorched by the exalted peak of her blazing fire of love separation, surpassing their 1,000,000-fold, then the gopis will consider their own love to be like insignificant candles compared to her great flame. My desire is that there be unity established among them all, and in this way my wish will be fulfilled. Thus, at the time of sporting the Rasa festival, when they are dancing in a circular formation, and they see Radhika brilliantly shining alone with me in the center, then they will not be jealous of her in the least. Just as people apply a pungent ointment to their eyes that stings and makes the eyes temporarily numb, but which afterwards render them clear and brilliant, similarly, a well-wishing friend sometimes purposefully gives another friend apparent difficulty that later results in the enjoyment of a wealth of happiness. Sri Radha continues speaking to Sri Krishna disguised as demigoddess. O Devi, my dearmost Krishna thus thought over this matter very carefully and acted accordingly. He very lovingly picked me up and embraced me to his chest as he carried me for a few steps. Then he put me down on a soft mossy place in the forest and told me, "Oh beloved, please wait here for just a moment." And he instantly left there and vanished from my sight. Dear Saki, when my beloved saw my extremely overwhelmed anxiety in feeling his separation at that time, he became very perturbed and desired to show himself to me to relieve my distress. But just then all the gopis led by my most confidential girlfriends arrived on the spot, and they became truly sad to see me alone in such a state of utter lamentation. Then the anxious busied themselves in trying to console me. And furthermore, quite contrary to your previous accusation, there was no fault of Lord Hari's part for killing the malicious demon Arista, Bhaka, Aga, Vatsa, and the deceptive Putana. The reason is that the divine and mystic potency of Vishnu Shakti somehow manifests in Sri Hari and kills the demon in order to protect the righteous souls. On the occasion of Krishna's childhood name-giving ceremony, the great sage Gargamuni told Krishna's father, Nanda Maharaj, the king of Raja, "Your son is just like Lord Narayana himself." In proof of the sage's word was seen in the common activity of Sri Hari like killing various demons, lifting Govardhan hill, and many other wonderful feats. But Devi, within my mind I have personally realized some things that were not mentioned at all by Sri Garga, the best of the sages. That is, even Lord Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is no way comparable to the bodily beauty, divine qualities, super excellent sweetness, O wonderful pastime of my beloved Sri Krishna. Indeed, Lord Narayana himself desires to attain a peak of Krishna's supreme splendor. Hearing of this charming statement of Sri Radhika that were topmost delight for the years, the goddess disguised Sri Hari boldly began to speak mischievously. "O Radhe, now I can understand, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that all the symbols of pure love you have been describing are sheltered only in you. My dear friend, as I understood you, this is the sense of all of your loving devotion. Pure love is that which causes you to perceive your beloved's faults as good qualities. Pure love is that which causes you to perceive the hundreds and hundreds of troubles your beloved may give you to be just like nectar. Pure love is that which makes you unable to bear even the slightest difficulty felt by him. Pure love is that which you are powerless to renounce even by the giving up your body. Pure love is that which causes you to enthusiastically imagine his matchless divine glories at every moment, even when there is no reason to do so. Radhe, you are truly the embodiment of such selfless love, for this high standard of love is found only in you. Now I have finally seen it myself, after previously hearing about it in the celestial assembly of Haimavati. On the other hand, however, your Lord Hari is not a proper lover at all. I have factually ascertained this after studying his activities. My very life air tells me so, especially since I became burned so severely by seeing the intense flames arising from your blazing fire of lamentation after he left you alone in the woods. Your girlfriends also witnessed to all of this. And furthermore, these things you have told me about his intention when leaving the arena of the Rasa dance. How can we believe such stories? You haven't heard this from his mouth or from any of his coward boyfriends. Even if you did hear it from them, then what of it? When have any of them ever told the truth in their entire life? Do Radha and Krishna know each other's mind? Then Radhika said, O Saki, I am immediately aware of all the moods that arise in the mind of my beloved. The Devi disguised Krishna then asked, My dear Radhe, have you studied the mystic yoga scripture of Achyuta, which describes how one can enter the body of another person and understand the thoughts in their mind? Radha said, You are a demigoddess, and you are therefore continually engaged in cultivating the mystic yoga perfection described in the book of Achyuta. Alas, I am just an ordinary human being. How could I ever be like you? But my dear friend, if you are still desirous of hearing my answer to your question about how it's possible for me to know the thoughts of my beloved, then kindly have faith in my words. Otherwise, any more discussion on this topic will be pointless. The Devi disguised Krishna then said, Dear girlfriend, as you desire that I should understand the truth, and you are attempting to convince me with so much persuasive reasoning, then how is it? How is it that I still don't believe you? If you cannot convince me that your beloved is an ocean of good qualities, then I must conclude that it is merely your own personal opinion that he is a proper lover. Shri Radhika replied, Saki, you are very expert at making jokes about those who are loved by other girls, but it is obvious that you do not know my beloved's mind. You see, If you call yourself one who is learning the science of entering another's body and mind, but in reality do not understand how Krishna thinks, then that is the real joke. The Devi asked, "O Radhi, if you know Krishna's mind, then why do you lament so severely when he leaves you and thereby begin crying so loudly? Why don't you become happy upon knowing what is in his heart?" "You have spoken the truth, O Devi, but listen carefully. At such times, I cannot remember that I know his mind, for his absence causes some kind of mysterious force to arise which impairs my ability to discriminate, and I immediately began to lament and cry." The Devi said, "O Gandharvika, I no longer doubt that you know his mind, but does he also know your mind?" Radhika replied, "Of course he knows what is in my mind. Why do you ask this question? Now please listen to a secret regarding this matter. Oh my, it's not possible to even articulate such a secret, but I have been moved by your affection. I will therefore try to speak." The Prince Krishna then submitted. "O Radhi, I was only overwhelmed by love for you, and therefore I asked such a presumption question. I am now desirous of listening to you speak whatever you think is befitting for me to hear. Please don't withhold anything." Radha said, "All the conception people have that Krishna and I both know each other's minds, or that we always like to be together with each other, are in fact greatly mistaken delusions. Such ideas are simply imposed upon us. Oh mine, for in reality Krishna and I have but one soul, and it is not possible for one soul to become two at any time. Just a single lotus stem in a lake blooms forth two flowers, one blue and one yellow. Similarly, our own soul manifesting here in Vrindavan within the lake full extremely limitless rasa has sprouted forth of two bodies and blue and yellow color. Or we are just like an oil lamp with a single wick which is split at the top into two, thereby forming a pair of immaculate flames that illuminate the darkness of each other's shadows. Similarly, our soul manifests as two bodies that dispel each other's darkness or apparent separation. Appearing like this, we give pleasure to our devoted girlfriends who are always situated nearby. Saki, if the wind of separation suddenly comes and causes the flames of our two bodies to flicker and almost go out, then our expert girlfriends immediately become attentive to remedy this situation by surrounding us and giving us shelter from the wind. Thus they carefully bring us the calm house of happiness and thereby restore the brightness of our love flames. Thus I have today opened wide this very best chest of love of my heart of hearts, and show you its wealth of jewel-like secrets. May this rarely obtained vision dispel the darkness of all your doubts, O most auspicious one. Now I have requested that you kindly keep these secret jewels hidden perpetually within your heart of heart and never let them to be seen by anyone." The Devi disguised Krishna began to speak. "O Saki, I have certainly followed your reasoning and accepted all that you have spoken on this topic, but, oh my goodness, my rascal mind stubbornly persists in demanding some sort of visible proof of what you say. What can I do? you are present right here before my eyes, and your beloved is now either at his father's home or else in the forest somewhere tending cows. Oh, my dear girlfriend, even though I truly believe that you two do have one soul, without some sort of test my faith will not become firm. Oh, lovely face one, if your meditation on something can instantly bring it into manifestation, I can therefore see such visible proof with my own eyes, then only will my belief become resolute. Whether your beloved is very near or very far away, then please meditate thus. Come here quickly. If by this mere thought you are able to immediately bring him here into your presence, then I will be very happy to accept it once and for all that you two are indeed of one soul. But even if you both remember each other in your minds, but are still unable to come together due to some reason like obedience to superiors, or the interference of a demon, or by something or the obstacle, then I will understand. I will not challenge any hindrances caused by providence. O Saki, even if you are apprehensive due to living in the home of your superiors, and are therefore unable to call out loud for your beloved, make it necessary to meet him in secret place, far from home. Or if you really do not feel any need of bringing him here now, then I fully understand. O one with intoxicated eyes, O beloved O Krishna, O my dear girlfriend, on my request, just remember him once. By this, we will all become happy, especially since there is no chance at presence of your superiors return home. By your unresistant compliance, please dispel the mystery that has arisen from my doubt. Radhika complies with the request. Upon this mischievous demand, audaciously presented by Sri Krishna, disguised as a demigoddess, the daughter of Vrishabhanu replied, O Saki, please don't make fun of me if I am unable to do as you request. I will be ashamed of my zealous exposition of pure love, and will thus remain perpetually miserable. Then Sri Radhika began to loudly pray to her most beloved, as though she were praying to the sun god. O most worshipable one, O Bhagavan, Supreme Personality of Godhead, O my most desired Lord, O Divine Son, O Giver of pleasure to the eyes of the three worlds, O Granter of my every desire, O most merciful one, O Lotus-eyed one, O Witness to all that is true or false. If it is not false when the people say Gandharvika and Giridhari are eternally one soul, then please, O Giridhari, in order to make this half of our soul happy, kindly appear now before my eyes. Praying thus, the daughter of Vrishabhanu then closed her eyes and began to meditate on the most beloved of her soul. She shut all of the activities of her senses just like a yogini, and she sat motionless while totally fixed in unbreakable silence. Sri Krishna took this opportunity to suddenly remove the disguise of a demigoddess and make his identity known to the other dear girlfriends who were present. By wiggling his eyebrows, he silenced those dearmost gopis who were favorable to him, as he began to repeatedly kiss and embrace Sri Radhika unrestrictedly. At this time, all of the Radhika's limbs became thrilled with little bumps of ecstasy, and in her meditation she could perceive that her beloved was present. Opening her eyes and see that he had indeed appeared, her torrent of joyful tears showed how her heart had become absolutely immersed in the greatest ecstasy bliss. Now she truly looked like a yogini, for her eyes were bereft of the cosmetic which were washed away by her tears of ecstasy. After a few moments, she regained composure and shyly covered her face and beautiful eyes with her veil. Then Lalita Saki addressed Sri Krishna. "Oh, sportive one, it is most astonishing that you have somehow come here undetected. Only chaste young girls are allowed in this sheltered inner portion of the palace. Even the wind is not able to enter here. My goodness! That man who is fearless enough to dare enter this impenetrable abode must certainly be the crest jewel of the courageous. Not only in this inner chamber inaccessible, but the daughter of King Rishabhanu is carefully guarded by many other girls that are fiercely protective like me. Sri Radha is so virtuous that all chaste girls purify themselves by bathing in her divine river of fame. She sat on a cushion in order to begin worship the sun god, but after she shut her eyes to meditate on him, you suddenly came here and had the audacity to forcibly touch her body. Have you no fear of the sun god Surya Deva? Have you no consideration for social etiquette or moral virtues, or not to mention shame, on which you obviously know nothing at all? O Madhava, O you who are expert in relishing the conjugal mellow of sweetness, how glorious is that things have worked out so well according to your desire today, for it happens that Sri Radhika's mother-in-law Jatila, as well as her ill-tempered husband Abhimanyu, are not at home. Oh my, we are just innocent and helpless girls, so what can we do to defend ourselves against you? Oh bestie of the debauches, you have certainly been protected by your own good fortune. Krishna tries to defend himself. Shri Krishna then replied, "This situation is not my fault. I was innocently playing in the courtyard of the cowshed near my father's house when I happened to remember Sri Radhika. At that very moment I was instantly brought here as if by some higher power." Then Radha said, "Oh Lalita, where is that demigoddess who was here before? By seeing what has taken place, has her belief come about or not?" Lalita replied, "Yes, she was relieved of her doubts by beholding the meeting of you both, and now radiating her splendor in another part of the house, thereby making all of us very happy." Then Krishna said to Lalita, "Please show me this so-called Devi of whom you speak." But she gave no answer. So Krishna said further, "Oh Lalita, by this silence I can fully understand the rascaldom committed by all of you girls today. You expect me to believe that some demigod who flies in the sky and is adapted in the art of mystic yoga has come here from another planet and spoke with you? Have you and your girlfriends accepted from her the knowledge of magical mantra by which an extremely unsubmissive person like me will be enchanted and thereby become irresistibly attracted to performing humble services according to your own whims each and every day? Oh Radhe, now I have a great desire to meet this Devi. May she also give me a secret mantra today. Oh melancholic girl, please help me to obtain it from her. But if I am not able to get a mantra from the demigoddess directly, then I am now taking shelter of you with great eagerness. Please lead me to a solitary place and make me your disciple." Radhika said, "What need have you of a mantra? What need have you of a mantra? Your flute shines as the most brilliant example of extraordinary mystic power. She brings even women who are totally devoted to their husband right into your lap. Krishna replied, "This is true, but when you sometimes steal my flute, then what becomes of me? Therefore, my means of the flute alone, my purpose are not fulfilled." Then Lalita said to Krishna, "After seeing you here, the Devi became shy and left this courtyard. She has concealed herself somewhere in Radha's quarter. Since she will not come out of hiding, how can she give you the mantra? If you are so eager for it, then go into the house yourself to find her. And if she is merciful, she will personally fulfill your desire. And if she is merciful, she will personally fulfill your desire." Hearing this, Achyuta, Krishna, the infallible one, then entered into Radha's quarters, and Radha apprehensively said to Lalita, "Oh Saki, what is the truth of this perplexing situation? Please tell me." Lalita replied, "Radhe, please don't be hesitant. Come on, I will go along with you into the house, and we will observe your demigod's friend meeting with Sri Hari." In the field of Sri Radhika's heart, the seed of Sri Krishna's cunning words had been sown, and that seed sprouted up being watered by the nectar rain of sweet laughter from the cloud bank of the Sakis present. Thus the tree of speculation grew until it finally produced the rasa-laden fruit of all that could be known. Then Lalita said, "Oh Radhe, it appears that the Devi has vanished, or else she has gone elsewhere in the house. We are all leaving now to go search for her. What more can we do here? Oh Saki, please just give Krishna the knowledge of the mystic mantra yourself and become happy." Saying this, Lalita quickly left with all the other girls. Then the many colorful varieties of amorous love sport jewels that were hidden within the treasury chest were used by both Radha and Krishna to decorate each other, and they thereby conquer millions of cupids. Saintly persons here chant or meditate on these gems of divine love sport in order to attain this eternally youthful couple. Overwhelmed with the most astonished, exalted happiness, they similarly always prevail over the influence of millions of cupids. In the year 1606, Sakha era 1684, on the bank of the lakes of Radha and Giridhari, some person who is full to the brim from drinking the nectar sweetness of the word of Srila Rupa Goswami has obtained this book, known as the Treasury Chest. Thus ends Prema Samputa by Srila Visvanatha Chakravarti Thakur.